Welcome in Karibuni to Aroma of Zanzibar. Today I'm going to share with you how I make this beautiful, crunchy, crispy manda. So I'm using about 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And to that, we are going to use half a cup of water that's in room temperature. And I added about 1 teaspoon of salt. You could use half a teaspoon, that's fine. And then to our flour, I added about 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil. And we're just going to mix it well to make a nice soft crumb. Then after that, we're going to start adding the liquid, that's water. Now for this dough, you may need to add more or less depending on the density of the flour. But what we're looking for is basically a very, very medium-sized consistency dough. You don't want it to be very hard, nor do you want it to be very soft. All right, so I went ahead and kneaded it for about 10 minutes. Just extra little more water. So you want to knead this for about 10 minutes to get all those glutens well developed, and you want your dough to stretch, something like this, very nice and firm. And then we are ready to get it to rest. So I added about maybe 2 or 3 drops of oil. Once the dough has rested, we're going to start rolling, and I've got some all-purpose flour and vegetable oil that we're going to use to roll these. So I'm going to divide this into 2 portions, simply because we are going to use 2 medium to heat these, but you can make same size if you want to. So the smaller one is there, and I'm going to start working with the bigger one. And we're just going to divide this into 6 equal portions. You can do 5 as well, that will work. And you just want to make them into nice, small, balls or discs, whatever you want, something like this. And now we're ready to roll. And what I did was I just rolled them into like 3.5 inches round, and this kind of thickness. And I just went on till I finished all of them, just like that. Then we're going to start applying the vegetable oil on top of all of them. We're just going to brush it like that. And then we're going to dust some flour. Then you're going to put the flour and the flour on top of each other. And then you're going to brush some oil on top. And then the next one. And then you do the flour. You basically repeat. You're just stacking one on top of each other. And then you're adding, you're brushing the oil. Right? And then the last one. On the last one, we do not brush oil. You just want to, now you want to stretch them. There's some of them that are shorter. And then just press them gently like that to make sure they're intact, because there is oil in between. So they do tend to slide when you roll them. So you want to do that before you start rolling them. So we just sprinkle some flour on the surface and on the top. We're going to roll this. You can roll it to whatever size you want, depends on your pan. And every now and then you want to flip it over and check on the other side. Some of them do not make it, so you want to stretch them, okay, just to make sure that they're all same. But if it doesn't happen, it's okay. This takes practice. Once you do it twice or thrice, it's going to work. All right. So you're just going to continue rolling. Like I said, it depends on the size that you're using, but do not make them way too thin, because it's very difficult to peel as much, although they are really beautiful and crispy when they're too thin. All right, so I made mine oval and longer because I want to make the sambusa strips, and I want my sambusa strips to be very long. All right, so I've got my oven on 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 Celsius, and we're just going to place this. And before we put it in the oven, just going to brush some oil on the top, because when this goes in the oven, if you don't want it to become dry, okay, and they become dry and then they crispy and break. All right, so I did close my oven and I opened it to show you after 4 minutes. This is what I have. Once you have bubbles, you know that it's ready. I'm going to keep it and let it cool. All right, so now I'm going to work with the other lot. So I made 5 discs, as you can see, And then the process is the same. Add the oil, the flour, and stack them. Now, I'm not going to take credit for this recipe. This is my first time doing it. I learned it from, I saw it in Madiha's Cooking with Madiha, and then I got some tips from Rehana's Cuisine as well. So I'll put the link in the description box for their videos. All right, so you want your pan to be just medium low. You don't want it too hot. And then you're going to place your dough over there. So what I did was I just did like 15 seconds on each side. You want to wait till you start getting bubbles like that. Then you're going to flip it on the other side. It can take 2 times or 3 times. It depends on the heat. All right, so like that, once you start seeing bubbles again, you're going to heat it up. Do not cook this. We're just warming it up to just make it a little bit firmer so we can peel the pastries, okay? We're not cooking it. All right, so I did it like 2 times. Once you see it like that, the bubbles start coming, and that's it. Take it out. We're going to keep it to cool while we start working on the first one. Okay, so now I'm ready. You can start from the top or the bottom, whatever you prefer. I think for me, the bottom was perfectly fine. So we're just going to remove this. Yeah, by the way, Madiha's Cooking with Madiha, her video was in Hindi with English subtitles. So there was something that I needed to know. So I went to Rehana's Cuisine, and both ladies have really, really done a wonderful job on this. So please do visit their sites and check it out. And, you'll love it. So anyway, so this is how it is. It's so beautiful, so flexible. You can fold it like that. And then I'm going to continue peeling these pastries out. And you want to be really, really gentle with this. My video is fast forwarded, so it shows that I'm doing fast. All right, so I'm going to keep removing. And sometimes, like I say, when they're way too thin, this might happen, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. So once I did finish all of them, and I just stack them like this. Now you wrap this up nicely. You can freeze this up to a month. I kept mine in the fridge for about 2 weeks, and I still use them. They were perfectly beautiful, just the way you see them, nice and moist. So we're going to cover this and move to the second one. And it's the same process. The ones done on the stove top were much easier for me to work with them, in terms of removing them. But I wanted to show you both ways. And you see how beautiful they are? I just can't get over it. And for these small ones, you can use for spring rolls, or you can do Zainab's fingers. This is the one that I kept because I didn't use them on the same day. Now I made the sambusas, which many of you loved, but I had to make this video into 2 because it was way, way too long. Okay, so you see, and then we're gonna keep removing them until we finish. You peel them. If you don't get one side, you flip it over, and you're gonna go gentle, and you need to be patient, really, really patient for this. All right, so you see how nice they are. Okay, a little bit. I finished that, then I moved to my last 2, which were really, really awesome. I had to show you how beautiful, how moist, how transparent they are. So they're going to make your sambusas really, really nice and crispy the way we like them, or love them for that matter. See how beautiful they are? You can see my palm underneath that. So again, you're just going to place them on top of each other so that way when you trim them or cut whatever shape, they're all the same, okay? So if you want to make spring roll, just going to make a square. All right, so now I'm just going to show you how I use this for the chicken sambusa, for those of you who have not seen the video. So I just trim on the side. So this length is good for me for sambusa. That's why I liked to do the oven one. But I actually use the store-bought one. I had to learn how to make these for those of you who do not have access to buy the ready-made ones, okay? So we just remove, and you know those excess, you can always fry them. Then there's another Sri Lankan dish that I make with these. I'll share with you someday when I get chance. All right, so we're just gonna take them out like that. They are so easy to work with. Then make sure they're covered all the time, so you don't want them to be dried. Okay, so for my sambusa, this is what I did. You're just gonna make a triangle like that on one side and then on the other side. So we're basically making a pocket triangle. And then you're just gonna do whatever filling you want. But if you're interested in knowing how I made my chicken sambusa, I will put the link in the description box below of this video so you can see how I did mine. All right, and then you're just gonna cross like that. It's very simple. They are so manageable to work with. And if you want it just like that, you can stop there, or you can use our edible glue. And then if you want them like how we like them, the Zanzibari people, we like our sambusas to be full of pastry and nice and fluffy. All right, so we're just going to put that. And then on my video, I'll also show you how I fried this to get them so nice and crispy, just like this. Thank you so much. For more recipes, please visit me at Aroma of Zanzibar. You'll find all the measurements and ingredients in the description box below and this very last page.